Welcome back to another brand spanking new, slightly late, sorry Chad, episode of The Order of the Blazing Horse, the only Detroit Pistons podcast based, you said it, on a mystical prophecy. I am one of those co-profs touched by a horse in a very consensual, ethereal, out there in the ether kind of way. Harry Morrow's out here in Ypsilanti, joined as always by my co-hostess with the mostest, my co-prof, who's the boss.
Mickey Jacobs, very excited to be here with you, Harry. It's a crazy day. We're mourning the loss of Beef Stew, but we are joined by Paige Otto. You know her from No Ceilings. Welcome to the pod, Paige.
Thanks for having me, Harry and Mickey. I'm excited to talk Pistons hoops with you guys. I feel like we have a ton to talk about. I think a lot's about to come our way in the next few days with trades and all the chaos. And right when the draft ends, this thing kind of starts again. So it never stops. And then we have Summer League. So a lot of exciting things coming.
Yeah, it always feels like, you get to an ending point and then you realize it's just ramped up. It's ramped up onto the next thing. It's a kind of perpetual, as it were. Even Trajan Langdon at his press conference today had his phone up on the table, was really chomping at the bit to get at that. So welcome to the chat, everybody. Welcome to the show, Paige, first-time guest from No Ceilings. Paige, you are a draft expert, but before we get into that, you're also a Pistons fan. You are one of the No Ceilings draft expert who happens to be a Pistons fan, so I know in your heart and soul, you're here to say a heartfelt goodbye to our very own beloved, formerly longest tenured Piston, the Jamaican, leaving everybody sizzling like bacon, farming out into Temecula, giving you the fist to the face, pointing you, making LeBron James feel like scum, bleeding out the eye, ripping down Giannis in the air. You know who I'm talking about. It's Dana. No, I'm just kidding. It's Isaiah Stewart. Beef Stew has been traded for 3 second-round picks. Or if you really want to think about it, he got traded to move up to 17 in the draft. Paige, how you feeling about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's bittersweet, right? I think everyone can agree that Isaiah Stewart was the heartbeat of this Pistons team, right? Like he he always had everyone's back, including the fans' backs too. Like everyone kind of rallied around him, right? And especially in the playoffs too. I think him and Dennis Jenkins really showed like that dog mentality when, things weren't going a certain way, right? We went to game 7 with the Magic, ultimately won that. But it was really low in Detroit. And like, I live pretty close to Detroit, right? And it was just like, what was it worth? Like we had the third 60-win season in franchise history, number 1 seed in the East. And, what's that all for? But, we ultimately came out of it. And I think with Isaiah Stewart too, he was such a, clutch factor for us off the bench too. Like we're going to miss his rim protecting abilities, him getting into scuffles with LeBron James with the game that had like 6 ejections in it. And one of my favorite memories of Beef Stew was that I actually was in the building in LCA for his career high, where he dropped 31 points and had 2 threes. And yeah, like he just knows how to, play Pistons basketball, right? He's the embodiment of Pistons basketball. So he's definitely going to be missed. But it had to happen, right? I think it was needed because, he was included in a lot of these trade packages, right? With him and Karis LeVert, Duncan Robinson, Ron Holland, Marcus Sasser. Like he was going to be involved in some shape and form. And if he wasn't, I was going to be super surprised. So he's landing in a really good fit for him with the Grizzlies. I think they're going to get back in that grit and grind culture where in the early 2010s, mid 2010s with Zach Randolph, right? Of just like beating people down, playing bully ball, getting people's faces. And with Cam Boozer too, and Zach Edey, Cedric Coward, they have a fun core over there. So I think he's going to fit perfectly with them over in Memphis. But yeah, it's definitely sad to see him go.
Mickey, he was one of your favorites, if not your favorite. How has the sentimentality been treating you? I know you've been preparing for it for a little while. Hooper did reach out to us a little bit and said that you don't have stew in the summer, and we're like, yeah, we know that's just not good eating. You don't want to do that. It's friggin' hot.
It's too hot for it.
We didn't know what he meant. So how you been feeling?
We have called Stu on the pod untradeable. And when we said it, we meant it. We meant it. But with, as you said, Paige, like it's bittersweet, and with all the rumors and potential trades that have been floated, we made our peace with the possibility that it was likely he was going, and just there was some weirdness with the center position in the playoffs. But love him so much. Pure Detroit basketball, absolutely fearless. I feel like this past season he really owned the finger wag. Like that became don't test him, don't jump. But one of my favorite recent memories, because there's so many, but I think it was game 2 against the Magic. I think we were up around 20 and Paolo dunked on him, and Stu just immediately starts talking smack at him. He had already blocked him twice over. And that's one of the things I loved about him is he was never afraid to get dunked on, because for every dunk highlight that they would post, they wouldn't post, talking about like House of Highlights and Bleacher Report, there were 3 amazing blocks that led up to it. Stu does not know how to make a business decision. He's always going to jump. And I love that about him. And I wish him well in Memphis.
The business decision I think Stu makes is that he's that dude. He is that dude who you cannot just get an easy dunk at the rim through. The hand strength is insane. The finger strength is insane. The timing is unbelievable. And he wasn't always that. Like watching him grow in Detroit and become this defensive stud was unbelievable. And Mickey, you know, I said this to you earlier that Cade was having a phenomenal year, but last year was the year Stu. Like last year really was like such offensive improvement from this guy, watching him finish, watching him catch the ball. Like he was such an impressive force down low. Paige, you added 31-point game. Yeah. Like my personal favorite memory from Beef Stew was the fist in Bobby Portis's face. Like, do you see this big fist? You see the size of this fist right
Joe
here?
Joe Louis size fist.
It's just so incredible. Paige, do you have a favorite Beef Stew memory?
Yeah, I think the one I mentioned, because I believe his first career high, or his career high that was in standing, was that in last season, it was like 26 points, like 5 rebounds, so on and so forth. So just to see him like go to work without Cade and Jalen Duren too, because he was kind of like that at Washington, right? Like he was a top 20 pick. And then ultimately we got him, you know, from the Blazers and Rockets trade, right? And 6 years ago now, which is crazy to even think about. But yeah, like he can operate in the pick and roll. He can be in the short roll. Like he's great at, you know, hitting cutters and slashers, because he has such a huge wingspan too, right? He has over 7 foot wingspan. Like we're definitely going to miss him just like clogging up the dunker spot and just being like, hey, like come at me with all you got because I'm going to be here. Right. He kind of has that mentality. And I think, when Duren and Cade were out too, like he really showed like he could be a start on any other team, right? Like, and I think he's obviously going to be with the Grizzlies. And I think we're gonna look back at this depending on who we get and be like, yes, this needed to happen, but it's also gonna be like he's probably gonna thrive a lot more than we may think in Memphis too, because they're creating something really, really cool down there. And I think as we kind of enter this new era in the NBA where, you know, a lot of players I grew up with are not in their prime anymore, right? And now it's kind of like this new generation of the new kids on the block, and a lot of new backcourts and new front courts are developing. And it's kind of weird seeing like even like the Julius Randle trade, right? Like him going to the Brooklyn Nets, everyone's like, what? Like they let go of Julius Randle, decide, you know, Ayo Dosunmu. Like that wouldn't make sense like 4 years ago, but now it kind of does, because it just fits what these new young teams are trying to build off of. And I think the Pistons are that in particular. And I think they kind of showed that they're kind of entering this new mold with, you know, what they did on trade night ultimately too.
Absolutely. And I do wonder if LeBron James hates Memphis even more now that Isaiah Stewart's there. He already thought it was 100%. A terrible place, and now it's even fucking worse for his ass. I do want to bring this up. Chat, you've been so great. I'm going to shout out some people in the chat. Ian McCullough jokes that we spoke this evil into the world. We did no such thing.
Shut your mouth, Ian. Shut your
mouth. Tony says, who is Stu going to fight the first time he comes back to LCA? I'm thinking Ron. I mean, come on.
About the action. The dog pound reunion is going to be nuts. I think he's going to go at Duren for sure.
Oh yeah, they're going to be feeling it. I do want to say, if you're a Memphis Grizzly fan watching and you want to hear about like what's up with beef stew, like what you're going to get. So much of the narrative nationally is like, all this guy does is fight. That ain't right. It really ain't right. It's not all he does. He blocks more. He shoots threes more. He scores in the paint more. The fighting isn't that. It's not that frequent. It's frequent enough. He does get suspended, but it's not like the only thing he does. I think you're going to get a great guy. I think you're going to have a fan favorite down there. And like, to be quite honest, we wish Stu all the best. And I think this is going to be better for him too, to have more of an opportunity to show off what he does, because this now kind of is Jalen Duren's team. And to be fair, B-Ball Paul showed that he deserves a spot in this rotation. He's the only big who showed up in the playoffs, and it'd be kind of crazy not to reward it. I've seen some people say like, oh, Stu was mad he got benched in the playoffs. This is no shade to Stu. He didn't have a great playoffs. Like he had some great performances, but truly there were a few Pistons that had great performances. That was Cade, that was Asar. Duncan Robinson played really well. Karras had himself some time. Tobias had himself some time, and Paul Reed. And everybody else is kind of up and down. So it's just, it just makes some time. Just make some time getting there. And to other people who are looking for what we go on from for Stu, what we do with Stu, people have said if it's Hero or if it's Norm Powell, they're going to lose their mind. I've seen people on social media say that if it's Norm Powell that they give up Stu for, that they're totally out on Trajan Langdon. How do you guys feel about that? Paige, I'm going to have you start with it because you're our vaunted guest.
Yeah, wait, can you repeat the question real quick? I was trying to look up something about Ebuka Okorie.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. We're going to get to Ebuka because you brought up wingspan already. But the question, I guess, is if they just, I'm going to put that in quotations, if they move Stu and they acquire Norm Powell, and that's their big move, people are out on Trajan Langdon, they said. Okay. How do you feel about that perspective?
Yeah, I think like we were talking about this before we hopped on live. Like I'm a huge fan of Norman Powell. I think I know why Pistons fans are kind of like, well, we could get Trey Murphy, Tyler Hero. One of my, like, if I was to rank them, I would have wanted Austin Reeves, right? But the Lakers kind of got, a little scared in the water because, we were on their tail and they're like, hey, we got to bump up our offer to, $40 million a year because the Pistons are gunning for our guy, right? So
they have to fluff the pillows, if you will. You guys know about this? For those who don't know, apparently they really upped the ante. They went all out to sign Austin Reeves by playing his favorite country music and by making monogrammed pillows for this man. How simpy can you get, LA? I'm sorry, I had to interrupt with the pillow story.
Yeah, no, it's like it's just a whole gimmick, right? Like I don't know how much Austin Reeves appreciates all that jazz, but I mean, hey, if you're getting a bag for that and you want to throw in some customized AR pillows, like for sure, like of course he would take them. Like who wouldn't? But with Norman Powell too, like forget the age, right? He's 33, but he was in the same draft class as Karl Anthony Towns, Devin Booker. He played with Zach LaVine, Kyle Anderson at UCLA, right? Like he's not that old, right? He was a second round pick, but he won a championship with the Toronto Raptors in 2019 with Kawhi Leonard, Pascal Siakam, Kyle Lowry. So he brings that championship pedigree to our young core. And I mentioned with the Los Angeles Clippers that he really stepped up when Kawhi Leonard and James Harden were kind of nowhere to be found, right? Like Kawhi Leonard had one of his best seasons of his career this past year. Like the claw is kind of back, right? Because for a while there, it's kind of like, okay, like is this guy even like want to play basketball, or like he's always hurt, or like is he hurt type of thing. But he's kind of back, right? And we can touch on if the Detroit rumors are actually true. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen all over the place, but I personally, there's no way in hell he's coming to Detroit, in my opinion. But
his team's pretty adamant that he's not coming to Detroit.
Yeah,
from what
exactly.
I've seen.
And you just see reports all over the place about, well, we could do this. No, Kawhi Leonard does not want to be in Detroit, unfortunately. But with Norman Powell, too, he had his best season of his career, 21 points, 46% from the field, 38% from three-point range on almost 7 attempts per game. His first All-Star appearance this past year with Miami Heat. And the Heat were kind of in a, different place too after, Jimmy Butler went to the Warriors, right? Obviously they had Bam and Davion Mitchell, Tyler Hero, of course, and Kel'el Ware, but Norman Powell was really, a really consistent offensive engine piece for them. And he's a type of guy that can play off the pick and roll, catch and shoot, spot up type guy, and kind of just get you a bucket anytime you kind of need one, right? He has that clutch gene to his game that I think people kind of forget because he kind of, is kind of in there with like the Tyler Hero and Bams of the world, right? But if you put him on this roster with the Pistons, because he's most likely not going to re-sign with the Heat, because with them signing Giannis, they kind of have to offer Norman Powell a discount, right? And he's going to be like, no, like I was just an all-star. Like the past 2 seasons, I averaged 21 points, shot 40% from 3. Like I deserve like to get paid. I deserve to get a bag. And he's going to look at teams that are willing to give that to him. And that's the Detroit Pistons. And I saw the Pelicans might be interested. Celtics, I know a lot of Jaylen Brown talk, of course, right? But so the Heat can't really do anything with him. Like I'm most likely, leaning towards that he's not going to re-sign with them. So we would have to kind of offer him, a sign and trade type of deal. So looking at like $30-40 million for him, or if we kind of kick in, Karis LeVert to the Miami Heat or something like that. But I love Norman Powell. Like I'm sure the chat, I can't really read the chat, but maybe they disagree with me. But I think he could really fill a lot of holes that we need as, him being a second option off of Cade Cunningham, because he does play extremely well off the ball. And if you're looking at, a Tyler Hero type player, he kind of does need the ball more in his hands than a Norman Powell does, right? Norman Powell already has that X factor from stretching the floor. And he can also, operate as a slasher and cutter and getting to the rim too.
Mickey, what is it about Norman Powell that you find abnormal?
The 3-level scoring. No, as Paige said, I mean, he's a recent All-Star. It's a little stopgappy. He's not gonna grow with the team for years to come. But I think if the moves end up being something like Norm Powell and maybe Cam Johnson at the 4, just the improved spacing alone is gonna make Duren, Asar, and Cade's life so much easier. With some of the names like Austin Reeves and Tyler Hero, those guys are better facilitators than Norm Powell is, but he's going to cost less. I think the injury questions are just as valid with all and the defense are just as valid. Plus we have Danis coming off the bench probably, and Ibuka. These are handlers. These are guys who can facilitate. I feel really good about it. I did balk a little bit, Cade, when you said Paige, when you said 30 to 40, but that makes sense. That makes sense. Hopefully it's shorter term. I hope, and hopefully closer to 30. But I'm with it. I will see where the chips fall, but I'm a part-time Clippers fan, as some of the chat knows, and he's been really fun to watch. As you mentioned, Paige, he's had a lot of opportunities with Harden, Kawhi. Paul George was down. He's really capable, and he's got a really quick first step. He's really fast. He's just can do it all, like when we need to go get one. Harry, how are you feeling?
I love Norm Powell. I've loved Norm Powell. I've wanted him on the team for several years at this point. When we're talking about like improvement and stuff, when we're talking about money and people are like, that's not a big enough name, the cost is nothing compared to what we'd have to give for Trey Murphy, who would be my preference. But like, if you're going for Trey Murphy, you're probably giving up Ron Holland and some first round picks. You get Norm Powell, you keep Ron Holland, you keep those first round picks, and you have a guy who can shoot, and you keep Duncan Robinson on top of that. So now you're not giving away a shooter to get a shooter. Now you double up on the shooters that you have. You have a guy who can get a bucket, who can fire. Your starting lineup features 3 All-Stars from last year and the second runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year. We're upset about this? Like, watching what Detroit was in the playoffs, people are like, oh, they need shooting, they need scoring, they need somebody else who can create for themselves. Norm Powell can do that. I get he's not the best defender, but Duncan's also not the best defender, and they were able to handle it with the starting lineup. I get that he's not the best facilitator, but as we said, we're going to have more facilitators on this roster. We friggin' just drafted one. So when it comes to like the starting lineup alone, I think that's great. And this isn't set in stone because, of course, we haven't gotten him or anything. We don't know what's going to happen. It looks like they're gearing up for a big move, but this is more just in preparation for people. If Norm Powell is the move and you gave up only Isaiah Stewart to get Norm Powell and to move up in the draft to get the guy that Trajan wanted to get, because it really does seem that's what happened in this draft, that there was a lot of rumors about Trajan or this team really liking Axel, them really liking Ebuka, and them really liking one more player. I think it might have been Bennett Sturts from what I'm hearing. I don't really know. I'm not an insider. I don't have sources. All I do is surf. I surf sources, as it were. I'm living. This is the only surfing I can get since I moved out of LA. But that's when I hear that, when I hear Trajan's being deliberate and he's making these plays, he's trying to make things happen, and he's doing things to retain the talent that he believes in while being cost effective. I think that's great, and I think that's great for the long-term talent on this team. People think that we missed our chance last year. I don't buy that. I don't think like a trade for a player, even if the trade had been for like Norm Powell, would have guaranteed them a trip to the finals or anything last year. I think you have to get as many bites of the apple as you can, and that's what Trajan's doing, and I think a piece like Norm Powell would be that if that's what it is. But since we've made this little transition that did include a little bit of liking and subscribing to the things that we say, if you want to do that, they're right here.
Chat. We got a packed chat. I want to see some boosted numbers.
Yeah, shout out to the chat.
We got very great guys. Oh, one more thing I want to add. I forget if you mentioned it on pod page, but we were talking off, and you also pointed out that Norm Powell's a champion. That's also really good to have. He won one with the Raptors.
And good in the playoffs in general. Like his playoff stats are no slouch. They're fucking good.
Yeah. People in the chat, look, there's some saltiness going on in the chat. I think the general vibe is that it's underwhelming. And, when you're hearing names floated like Kawhi and Hero and Trey Murphy, like it also allows us to remain really flexible. Like, we were big. I'm seeing Peyton Watson. We love Peyton Watson. That would have been awesome. I don't think Denver's going to allow it to happen. Like, I think Denver's also thinks he's pretty awesome. I don't know. I forget if we mentioned this on pod as well, but players like Norm and just players in general, they get the Cade boost. And I also saw, I forget if it was OG who mentioned it, or like that it was disrespectful to trade if we do end up getting Norm Powell, you're trading a backup big for a starting 2
all-star
3, like who just had an all-star season. I
guess, and you're moving up in the draft on top of it.
Yeah,
we love Stu. We love Stu. We're all emotional. We're all fired up about it. But I do think something good's gonna come from it.
Free agent. I mean, like off season's hard. Like being a professional athlete is very hard. Going from team to team, from opportunity to opportunity, the way the money works, it's very difficult. Being respectful to players means like saying, "Hey, we like what you did. We really respect you. We want to put you in a good decision. We're not forcing you to go somewhere bad because we don't like you or like throwing you into a bad situation." And I'm sure they were upfront with him. It sounds like he was prepared for it. So like there are ways to be disrespectful, and it doesn't feel like that's what the case is here in Detroit. And it's certainly not the case here on this podcast. And I hope it's not the case in any of your hearts out there, because we all love Stu.
Sometimes people just need time. People need time. The grieving process it's not one size fits all. Should we segue to the draft?
Let's segue to the draft. It's why we brought you here.
Paige, take the wheel.
Well, what do you guys want to know about Ebuka Okorie? And then I also want to talk about some of the guys. One guy in particular, I was very surprised that he dropped. He was one of my guys in the draft. I guess we can start there, but
Ugonna Onyenso? Oh, sorry.
I am bummed to see him on the Lakers.
Big man fall hard.
Yeah, Cameron Carr out of Baylor. I think everyone was a little bit surprised that he fell right to the Lakers. I think, if we weren't to trade up for Ebuka Okorie, he could have very well ended up in Detroit. Him, Christian Anderson, Bennett Sturts, Ebuka Okorie were kind of the 4 names I was hearing around, depending on what direction Detroit wanted to go. And Cameron Carr, right, 6'6", 7'2", kind of gives you that Trey Murphy kind of feel, but hey, you're getting him on his rookie deal, right? And he was exceptional for Baylor in a pretty down year too, right? Like he and Tonde Yesufu were the only 2 offensive engines for for Baylor, 2 freshmen. And he exceeded in a role that he's not going to have in the NBA. And he still shot 40% from 3 with 6 attempts per game, could get to the line in a hurry, right? 6'6", 7'2" wingspan. Like the dude's massive. And he was averaging like 2 stocks a game too. So that was my main guy that I wanted for the Pistons. But in terms of guards, I was happy that it was Ebuka Okorie. And I also would have been okay with Christian Anderson as well. That ultimately went to the Charlotte Hornets. But I think people were kind of surprised because I think a lot of Pistons fans were like, okay, let's go through like the normal draft process of like Adam Silver, like going to the podium, the Detroit Pistons select, Ebuka Okorie, like that whole process. But it was kind of just like, oh, like Shams bomb, right? Of like, oh, Ebuka Okorie traded to the Pistons. And you're like, oh, like the excitement is like kind of like not as much there, but there's a lot to be excited about with Ebuka Okorie.
When the trade got made, I was following and I saw the Pistons trade up to 17. I was like, oh, it's Cam Carr time. Mickey, I shared Cam Carr with Mickey for a long time. And then it said Ebuka Okorie, and I was furious. I must admit, I was furious. I was like, come on. Small guard, not a great 3-point shooter, not a great finisher at the rim, just so mad. I don't feel that way. I didn't feel that way 12 hours after the pick. I just felt that way right away. Paige, tell the people why I don't feel that way anymore.
Ebuka Okorie, I think he's been pretty underrated this past year because he was on a pretty sucky Stanford team, right? And I know how East Coast people feel about setting up for pastime ACC games on the West Coast. Like, it's basically like you're not going to really like watch these players until March Madness or their, tournament, conference tournaments. But, Stanford didn't even make March Madness. So we didn't really get to see a full on look of how, Ebuka Okorie operates in kind of postseason college basketball. But with Ebuka Okorie, he was third in freshman scoring in the NCAA. He averaged 23.2 points, 4.6 rebounds, 4.6 assists, can really glide through defenses. And, he's not the biggest guy, right? But he's 6'2", 6'8" wingspan, has super broad shoulders. Like, he will go out and get after it. He went to the line 7 times per game with having a 30% offensive usage, which is crazy as a freshman, especially when you're playing for not a great team, right? So basically he was the whole limelight of the offense. And, with him, a lot of people think, well, he's not really a good playmaker for his size. Like, I'm kind of worried about that, especially if he's not, 38% shooter from the 3-point line, but he's a little bit less than that, around 36%, but still around, 4 attempts per game. Like, he is the master of counters, like his shot fake. He has a great step through dribble. I kind of compare it to a Donovan Mitchell of how he kind of gets in the mid range and gets to the line. Like, for a freshman, like, he really understands how to get to his spots and go to work in it. And him, having such a high offensive role, like, okay, he's going to be with Cade Cunningham. He's not going to have that, on his shoulders, right? He's going to be able to play his game, get in the mid-range, go and attack the rim. He's also great at drawing fouls too. I mean, with how, I guess, short you want to consider him, like, he plays a lot bigger than that. Like, I can't remember a freshman in recent drafts that could draw fouls the way he does because he's so crafty at the rim. He's great at, using his wingspan to create angles and advantages to finish over elite big man too. And he really creates a lot of gravity for, a shorter guard at the rim, which you don't really see a lot. And he also was a pretty, high riser through this draft class too. He kind of, for starters, coming in the season, 4-star recruit out of New Hampshire, Gatorade Player of the Year. And his other offers too were Harvard, right? Like, he's a smart kid. And he ultimately chose to go to Stanford. But yeah, there's a lot to like with him. I kind of compare him to like a CJ McCollum type player because CJ out of Lehigh, right? Like, he's fast, he's twitchy, he knows how to get to his spots. He can just run to the rim and transition and kind of just stop on a dime. Because the thing about Ebuka Okorie, he's such a suave guard, right? He really understands how to like glide through and kind of do it on his own. And I think he's a pretty underrated playmaker. And the thing about assists, right? You kind of have to have teammates that make baskets. And Stanford didn't really have that, right? He didn't really have his kind of go-to guy as a big man or a counterpart in the backcourt to kind of play off of. He kind of had to do everything by himself. And he had a 1.9 assist to turnover ratio. Like, he's a super low mistake player as well. And he was an AP All-American honorable mention too. Like, and back to the scoring pedigree of his game as well. He had 8 30-plus point games this year for Stanford. Like, dude is a bucket. I think we're going to be super surprised of what he can do. And I think a lot of people are kind of underrating, his ceiling a little bit. He kind of, at the start of the year, I was like, okay, like this guy, first rounder for me, but I didn't really think, towards like the midpoint of the year, like, okay, this guy has like top 20 potential, and even more. Like a lot of the guys that know ceilings too were like, this guy could go top 10, like top 10 to the Bucks, right? Like he has the juice. And I think just because this class was so guard heavy, right, especially freshmen, like it's just kind of how the board played out that he was ultimately, available at 17. But, you take a few of those guards away, like he could have easily maybe been top 10.
So the parts of his game that were refreshing for me, here's what I got over. First, I was like, oh, small guard. And then I realized they're all small guards. Like literally every guard in this draft, except for, I guess Keaton Wagler's tall, but then you lack, like they all have their own physical limitations. And you say guard heavy, but they're not heavy guards. The only heavy guard is Braden Burries in this draft. Everybody else is pretty light. Like he's bigger than Christian Anderson. Here's one wild stat about Ebuka Okorie. He weighs more than Cam Carr does.
Yeah.
Okay? He weighs more than Cam Carr does. That's one thing. Here's another crazy stat. He, on the team where there's no other help, on his whole team where he's using all this usage, what was his turnover rate? It was like he averaged like under 2 turnovers a game.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Third crazy stat. He averaged more assists than Cade Cunningham did in college. So like all that stuff made me feel a whole lot better when I'm thinking about it. A whole lot better. This kid can gain weight. He's got broad shoulders, got the long waist. He gets inside. He gets a lot of free throws. He hits a lot of free throws. And he gets a bucket. Like so good at hitting the bucket. And when I thought about the team, like as an individual player, you think of the Pistons, you want 3 and D. You need someone to have 3 and D. And then when I think about that alongside Cade Cunningham, the starting lineup, does Cam Carr have any sort of self-creation? Not really, right? It's not like really his thing to the same extent that it is Ebuka Okorie's. And what this team really lacked, especially in the playoffs, was scoring when Cade Cunningham was on the bench. Ebuka, as Trajan said, is going to be leading that second unit. And now they have a guy who can go out and get a bucket when no one else can get a bucket because he already showed he can fucking do that on a team full of scrubs, getting 30 points like he's Isaiah Stewart or something on a regular basis. I flipped so hard on this pick. And Mickey, we've talked about wiggle and how this team lacks a lot of wiggle here. He's Ziggy Big Guns the Wiggler. If you're a big timers fan from the 90s, if you follow me, this kid's got juice. I'm loving it. Mickey, how are you feeling about the draft pick? I know I texted you and I was like all teary, sheery, upsetty, wetty.
It's an emotional roller coaster. It's okay. Look, the past couple of weeks, they've been emotional. They're going to be emotional. It's part of sports, guys. But I feel like we knew something was up when Trajan was saying how there's not a lot of shooting in the draft, and we were like, uh-oh. Like, okay,
he said
seems like there is, but I guess that's not where you're going with it, because I think we were looking at guys like Cam Carr, guys like Yax, and I think that a lot of us, the chat included, not to speak for all 8 of you, but I think a lot of us are ready to start thinking more about fit. And just, with Cade, Asar, and Duren being the 3, major parts of the core right now, we're antsy to get guys in there that really fit. And Trajan doesn't draft like that. Trajan drafts best available. We saw that, or highest ceiling. And I think we saw that with Ron. He's a project. He's not just an instant plug and play guy. It's a process. But I do think that there are some, as you mentioned, fit elements with Ebuka, even if they're not just immediately, pure shooting. As you mentioned, Harry, wiggle, turnovers, those are problems that we have. We need people who play in control. We have enough. We want to play fast. We're young. We're athletic, but we don't have enough handlers. And
the kid, like you said, play fast. The kid's awesome in transition too.
Yeah. He really seems 3 level, and it sounds like he has a really high ceiling too. So even if he's not getting a ton of minutes right away, but it seems like he could actually, and it seems like Trajan's really high on him. Saw some people in the chat asking, and I bring this up because I had the same question, and I'm curious what you think, Paige, because how will he play with Danis? What does this mean for Danis's role? And just watching the whole Danis saga last season, you know, it was up and down. Yeah. But a lot of his, especially with the shooting, I think his numbers are way better catch and shoot than they are off the dribble. Like when he would play hero ball and just take a crazy shot, it wasn't great. But when he's spot up in the corner or on the wing, I love it. What do you think about those guys off the bench together? Do you think there's overlap there in a good or bad way?
Yeah, with Danis Jenkins, I learned to really like him at first. At first, you know, he has a really cool story, right? Like, you know, 2-way to guaranteed and kind of balled out I don't think a lot of people were really expecting it. You know, he came from St. John's as well. And he kind of like proved to everyone like, hey, like I deserve to, you know, have this contract and be an NBA player. And I think with the situation that we had of he really, you know, learned to play in his role. And I think with Danis Jenkins, like I would kind of get annoyed of like, okay, why is he taking like these shots that Cade Cunningham usually does? Like he's trying to be like the miracle man or sometimes like with these shots, and like these shots like could easily, you know, an extra pass here and there, you know, reset a lot. He kind of just tries to go to work. And for a while there, it did work, right? I think, you know, he had a couple game winners that I'm like, okay, Danis Jenkins, like, okay, I'd love to see it. But he came in and then he ended up, you know, being a starter, right, too. And I think with him, he does have a really good grasp on the ball as a ball handler. He provided that spark for us, which we desperately needed, right? You know, he can create a little bit off the dribble, especially in the pick and roll. And I think he was kind of a constant for us also in the playoffs. And I expect the same for Ebuka Okorie. I think Ebuka Okorie also has a lot more self-creation to his game and a lot more wiggle. And he also gets to the line a lot more. Like you're not going to see this type of special downhill driving ability that Ebuka Okorie has, that like Danis Jenkins doesn't have to that kind of stature like he did in college, right? Like Ebuka already has that. And I think if, you know, plug and play in the lineups, maybe all three of them play together sometimes with, you know, they kind of go small ball with Asar there at the 4 or, you know, whatever the case may be. I think Ebuka is kind of the type of guard that you can kind of play off of Danis Jenkins, throw maybe, I mean, I don't know if Marcus Sasser will still be, you know, in a Pistons jersey. I think he might, you know, be kind of the names off the table and kind of these trade deals. But I think Ebuka can play in a lot of different scenarios. I think to start off, he will be coming off the bench and just seeing how he does. Like I think Summer League, like I'm excited to see him in Summer League in a few weeks and just how he plays there. But yeah, I could definitely see him, Cade, Danis Jenkins, Asar, you know, if Tobias is obviously still there, and of course, Jalen Duren. But I think him and Paul Reed would have a ton of good chemistry. Like I'm so excited to see Okorie and Paul Reed work together. And Okorie, and per synergy too, for those that are listening that don't know like really what that is, that's kind of just like where all the NBA games and college games are. It kind of gives you like the inside of the inside scoop of like all the analytics of like shot attempts, rim percentage, and like a shot chart basically. But Okorie ranked in the 92nd percentile as a pick and roll ball handler too, and 81st percentile in isolation. And just to translate that for you guys as well, like in college, like anything over like the 60th percentile is like excellent, like amazing stature. Like that's kind of like, you know, the end all be all. And Okorie's already in that with, you know, the role that he had at Stanford. So I think him, you know, operating with Paul Reed and just having help in general, like he already did enough by himself. Like he's just gonna, you know, really thrive and excel in this role. And like the Pistons have, you know, all the players to help him get to that point.
He's going to have, if he's playing that second unit with, let's say, Danis and Duncan, or Duncan and Javonte, those are guys who can knock down the three, which is something he didn't have before. So that'll be exciting. Shoot, Paul Reed can friggin' knock down the three. We've seen it.
Yeah,
We've seen it.
Standstill shot. Yeah.
I feel like we've seen it and no NBA broadcaster has ever seen it because they're always like, oh my God, what is this form?
They dog the form.
Also, I want to say shout out to the chat for not bringing up how Okorie is just another Marcus Sasser, because I feel like I've seen that all over the place. And I hope I am proud of Chat for knowing that and for taking in enough intel to know that these are vastly different players. I don't think Sasser is being likely the next guard out because Okorie is him. I think he's likely the next guard out just because his contract is the next one that's coming up, and his fit is a little clunky right now. He's an off-ball 3-point shooter. It's great. He might stick around, and I'd be very happy if he stuck around because I like him a lot. I think he's very sweet, man. Marcus Sasser seems very sweet. All the social media stuff, I'm like, this is maybe the nicest Piston. I don't know, but I like him a lot. But happy the Chat doesn't think they are the same player.
Yes,
also,
praise Chad. Praise Chad.
Praise Chad. Also, shout out to the Chat. Who said this earlier? It was Kevin Alford. He said, "Hey, Smoke Ponies, thanks for your work." Smoke Ponies? That's what the followers are from now on, the Smoke Ponies. The followers of the Blazing Horse are the Smoke Ponies. So shout out to you, Kevin. Wow. Great stuff. And as Mark points out that Omari lost it about the Sasser comparison, I get it. I super get it. As a formerly short boy myself, with a long wingspan myself, I totally understand getting compared to every other short person at your school or all around you.
Yeah, Mickey, as a currently short boy with a short wingspan, I understand it all too well. Yeah, everyone's always comparing me to Marcus Sasser, and it's so annoying.
Well, I do think you're a very sweet man. You're one of the sweetest men I know.
I'll take it.
In a world where we need more sweet men, so be sweet out there, man. If you can, be sweeties. Smoke ponies. But Paige, we've had more picks, at least one more pick. I wasn't expecting one, and boom, there it was, scooped from the New York Knicks, traded to us. We lost to Boohoo, and then we got tall boy Blocks in the game. Tell me I'm pronouncing his name right. It's Ugonna Onyenso?
Yeah.
Perfect. From formerly Kentucky, then the Cleveland Cavaliers. My man's 7 feet tall. 2 of his seasons, he averaged 2.8 blocks per game. 2.8 blocks per game. 2.8 blocks per game. Is that because he can't do much else, Paige?
So with Ugonna, right? His first 2 seasons at Kentucky, he came in as a 5-star recruit out of the NBA Global Academy. Very, highly tethered, coming into a Kentucky squad that, he didn't play really at all. He was under Oscar Tshiebwe for that tenure of his 2 years. And then he transferred to Kansas State. And then again this year to Virginia. And he's only a 21-year-old senior, right? So we're kind of getting him a little bit younger than I think a lot of people expect. Usually when you're a senior, you're 22, 23, right? And
Trajan loves the babies.
And
sorry, babe.
No, that's okay. And with Ugonna too, he's 7 foot, 7'4" wingspan. He almost led the country in block percentage. He was second at 17.4%. So that means of the shots that on the defensive side, he was blocking 17.4% of them guys. He is an elite rim protector. He kind of, with Stu leaving, he kind of solidifies that role for us of, him being a backup center to come in and just, block the paint and kind of be that, second in command for Jalen Duren, right? I mean, imagine him and Duren lining up in the front court. Not a lot is going to, get by him a lot. And I think with him too, because he is a true 7-footer, a lot of people are like, oh, he probably has cement blocks for feet. He's a slow mover. He's not at all. He can really defend on the perimeter. He's good laterally. He's quick on his feet. He kind of has boxer feet, I kind of like to call it. He's very light and feathery. He likes, and with him too, he's not just elite play finisher. That's his elite skill, I would kind of say his marquee skill, but he can also run the floor a lot. He ranked in the 98th percentile as a transition player. And he can also operate in that kind of lurker type sense. He kind of clears out the dunker spot and he kind of just lurks for second opportunities, second possessions, which, Jalen Duren loves to do, right? So having him as well to clean up the boards, especially on the offensive end. We kind of got, one of the best second round picks that we could get with him, in my opinion, just because he kind of fills that need, especially with Stu getting gone. And with him too, just because he kind of played kind of a slighter role than a lot of these other big men in this draft class. A lot of people aren't really familiar with his type of game, but I kind of expect him to come in and he's kind of going to be a spark plug off the bench for us in defending, the front court, right? Because with him too, like Virginia Tech, they didn't have, the best season, right? But he was kind of the limelight. He didn't start at all either. Like he came off the bench. Like this dude's 7'4", 7'4", almost led the country in block percentage. Like you're getting that guy in the second round, and he kind of has a shot to his game as well. So the first 3 years of his career, Kentucky, Kansas State, didn't shoot a three-pointer, right? But this last year at Virginia Tech as a senior, he averaged 1 3-point attempt per game for a total of 36 3-point attempts, under 30% at like 28%. But how his shot mechanics have come along from his freshman season to senior season, it's like night and day. Like
28% is like what, 5th on the Pistons?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you'll fit right in, buddy.
For sure. Like, and with him too, like he's very more composed in a shot. You can see the confidence is kind of starting to get to him, when he's left open on the 3-point line. Like a lot of these shots, right, they're not heavily contested because he doesn't, attract that much gravity on the 3-point line, but he's able to knock them down. He made 10 out of 36, like compared to like 0 the first 3 seasons. Like it's a step in the right direction. And I think this past year, he kind of did everything that he needed to. A lot of the questions were answered with him. So that's what to like too. In the first 2 seasons too, he only shot like high 50s at the free throw line. In the past 2 years, he shot like mid 70s. So his shot is getting there. Like the mechanics are there. It's not a lost cause by any means. So he has some, juice to work with on that end too. And he's already such a dominant play finisher. So yeah, I really like the pick for us for sure.
We like it a juice. Mickey and I get juiced up on this podcast.
We really do.
For sure. I got to shout out the chat a little bit here. Mega Hustler 313 asked if he's the Wemby stopper on this roster. And Marcus Faust 6053 wants to know if he thinks that Ugonna's going to make is Ugonna make the roster, the main roster, or do you think it'll be Tolu Smith?
I think he will. I think he will make the roster. I think also like I'm excited. I'm probably most excited to see him in Summer League just to see kind of how he works off of Ebuka Okorie. And
he's going to look so tall next to Ebuka. It's going to look so tall.
Yeah. And I think he has I think he has a chip on his shoulder, right? Like he was kind of projected a little bit higher in some mocks, right? And I think he showed out in the G League Combine too. And I think for people in the chat, and you too, Harry and Mickey, if you haven't already, go and watch the tape of him in the ACC tournament and how he played against Cam Boozer. He like he really hones down in his role, and if he can do that to Cam Boozer, right? Like who knows what can happen, as he is, in a developmental stage in his career, has the staff around him, getting muscle, getting size, working on his shot. Like he has a pretty high ceiling. Like there's a lot to work with for there. Cause I think if you get a big man in the second round, you're like, okay, like he's kind of maybe just like a draft and stash type of player if he doesn't really have a lot of touch indicators, but Ugonna has that. So I think he has a lot to work with. So I would be pretty confident he would make the roster. I'd be shocked if he didn't.
Shocked is good. And one thing, shocked would be bad in that case for him, but whatever. Detroit shock would be good here. So maybe I was right a little bit. Who knows? One thing I want to talk, because like I brought up the blocking. One thing I think is so cool. We talked about this with Stu a little bit, is blocking is so contingent on your ability to time the ball properly and like to time your hand placement. And from the little I've seen from him, it looks like that's an elite level skill of his. So that's gonna be my last question about him is, do you feel like that is super translatable to the NBA and that's going to carry through and he's only going to get better at that? Or do you think that I'm more overblowing it and it's just that he's tall as shit?
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to compare him to Eddie Mara in just like the opposite senses real quick, because when I went to see Mara play, he is obviously tall as shit, right? But he can also, he's an unbelievable playmaker for his size. He has great hands, has just unreal X-ray vision. But he's also playing with, Yaxel Lenenberg, Marez Johnson Jr., and Trey McKinney, who I think is going to be an awesome guy to watch out for in next year's draft class. But Mara can basically catch any pass that is thrown to him. Doesn't matter if he has 3 defenders on the weak side that are basically all over him. Like, he's going to catch that ball. With Ugonna, he kind of struggles with those types of passes. Like, when you're watching the film throughout the year with Virginia Tech, like, a lot of passes that were thrown to him kind of off the short roll or, lobs, like, he kind of does miss those if they're kind of in, a really tight window. So that's something to look out for, just like how his hands translate, because he is such an insane rim protector, right? And he finished less than 70% at the rim, but still extremely good around there, right? But just like his hands are a little bit worrisome to me, of just like how he's going to be able to, have those skill set in the NBA. Like, okay, if your hands aren't the best in college with, the team that you're on, how is it really going to translate to getting lobs from, Cade Cunningham, Okorie, Marcus S, like whoever the case may be, right? So that's something I'm kind of worried on, because it's kind of like same with Cam Carr. I kind of referred to, like, Cam Carr had some turnover issues, like especially with, he wasn't really strong with the ball yet. He didn't really have the ball on the string as how I projected he kind of would throughout the year. Like, he did self-create for himself, but it wasn't to the sense of, other players in his draft class. Like Isaiah Evans really showed a lot of improvement from his freshman to sophomore year with handling the ball in that sense. Cam Carr kind of has stuff to work off of that, but same with Ugonna. Like, I think him kind of looking at Jalen Duren and Paul Reed and their sense of just like, hey, like, be patient with the ball. Like, you don't have to go up with it every single time, right? Like, you're okay. Like, you're 7 foot, like, you're okay. Like, you can take time with it. Like, I think he has that kind of to learn, because it kind of looks a little clunky in those situations. But yeah, I think that's something to just look out for in that sense of how it translates.
So 7 foot, shot blocking, defensively maneuverable, potential floor stretcher, developmental project for Detroit.
Yeah, I will say one of my Lakers buddies was pissed when we got it. 50 what? Like, trust me. We got a comment from OG unnamed YouTube user. Paige Sambassini had Jaden Henley in his top 60 thoughts. Does he get a two-way with Detroit? Any thoughts there?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I haven't really watched Jaden Henley as deeply, just being honest. But yeah, I have to go back and watch. I know we're gonna talk about Drake Allen a little bit, but yeah, I mean, Sam,
if Michigan kid too, right? Like, what's his name? I already forgot it, but my bad, Michigan boy.
But let me see. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'll talk about copium in the chat with the pick. I mean, I guess we could just like shit on all the decisions.
No, I mean,
I want to feel good about it.
I get the copium though, because I went through. I don't think it's copium. I think it's like I'm going to be honest with why my process went this way. Is I was so focused on the guys that I wanted, that I thought would be great fits. I'm like, this is a great fit for this process. This is the way I see the team being built. I didn't pay attention to what Trajan said enough, because I was so focused on what I wanted. Trajan in his press conferences said, we're going to get a guy. He might not be a guy for this year. He might be a guy that we develop along the way. He said that there aren't shooters around here. We definitely need ball handling. And that's exactly what he got. That's exactly the type of pick that he went for. And when I actually thought of this vision for Okorie being this backup, just like absolute bucket getter who could potentially play with Cade eventually, we'll see. Maybe it works out. That'd be great. Even if he's your sixth man off the bench and leading that second unit, it's incredibly valuable to have. Moving Isaiah Stewart, that's like really upsetting. And now you have Ugonna, and that's like potentially the next Stu. Not totally the next Stu, but he does a lot of what Stu could do, especially if he develops at the same rate that Stu did develop. Like, the cope is, I think, coming to terms with our plan isn't the same plan that was Trajan's plan, but that doesn't mean it's a bad plan. In fact,
Harry, why doesn't the GM do what I want? That's what I'm sort of wrestling with here.
It's a great question. I think we just got to come to terms with that. Dude knows more than we know. He's got better intel. He's met with these players, and he has a plan for how to make his team work better. And yeah, I love playing like fantasy GM. I love playing armchair GM. We all do, but I also just love watching this team, and I trust how they've built it so far. He hasn't led me astray yet. So that I call it less cope and more acceptance of my stupidity.
Well, I hate you, and I hate Trajan, and I hate everything. So,
and I think, Harry, that you were talking about Roddy Gale that we signed a 10-day deal with. So yeah, he started his career at Ohio State, and then ultimately came to Michigan. Obviously won a national championship. I know, right? Like, I guess
sacrilege.
I mean, I went to Michigan State. That's like me going to Michigan for like my master's or something. Like, not gonna happen.
That's what my older brother did. He went from Michigan to Michigan State, or vice versa. Traitor. Yeah, my older brother. He gets so much hate on the podcast the last 2 episodes. Shout out Nick. But anyway, back to Roddy Gale, Drake, and the picks in general.
Yeah, like Roddy Gale, like. So he's 6'5", another combo guard in a way, not a 3-point shooter, shot a little bit under 30% this past year and for his career. Like, he's mostly just a bully ball type of guard that's going to get downhill, utilize the pick and roll, and kind of just, be a kind of glue guy, right? Connective kind of piece to a team. So going to see him at Summer League as well too. And then Drake Allen out of Utah State that just signed a 10-day exhibit deal as well. Utah State also very underrated program. Obviously, their coach just signed a deal to go to Cincinnati, Jared Calhoun. But so that's kind of sad. But I mean, Utah State was really kind of getting up there. Same as how like Drake and like Ben McCollum and Bennett Sturts were kind of making ways there. So happy for Calhoun to get kind of a P4 deal. But anyway, Allen 7.9 points, 46% from the field. Pretty decent playmaker for his size. He's about 6'5", 205, just under 5 assists per game. Really good facilitator, especially in the pick and roll and short roll, like and hitting cutters and slashers. So I think he's kind of, why not pick him up on a 10-day deal, right? And see kind of like how he does in the system and playing NBA basketball. Same with Roddy Gale. Like, he's kind of, if he works out, he works out. But if he doesn't, it's kind of like, I'm not really expecting them to get a cup of coffee in the NBA, but I mean, they're kind of good players to kind of try out and see how they do in Summer League, because there's always, some players that are on these deals that just go off in Summer League and then they kind of, mellow out. So who knows with them.
Yeah, we were pretty high on Ron Holland's 3-point shot after last year's Summer League. We were like, that's translated completely. There's still time.
What specifically in Summer League are you looking forward to? Because you will be there.
Yeah. So, I'm excited because with No Ceilings too, like, all of us live all over the place, right? Like, I haven't seen these guys in like a year or so. Like, it just depends when we can make our schedules work. So, first of all, excited to see them. Excited to just watch hoops in Las Vegas in July. Like, that's a fun time in general to get out of Michigan for a little bit. But Michigan summers are pretty underrated, I will say. But with something like too, like, this was a generational draft. Like, seeing AJ in person, Darren, Cam Boozer. I think Cam Boozer has such a, safe floor. Like, I just look at him and I feel like stability with him. If I'm being like, he is, top 3 player. You can't really go wrong with him. I'm really excited to see him with Cedric Coward, Jalen Wells, that whole Memphis squad. And then I think the Bulls, I'm extremely excited to see Caleb Wilson. Because I think those top 4 was pretty cookie cutter for how it went, but you could not really go wrong, right? And I think Caleb Wilson, like, he has the work ethic, he has the drive, he has the motivation. Like, he wants to be one of the best players to ever play the game. And I think he really wants to rejuvenate, the city of Chicago. And I'm excited to see him with Matas Buzelis, of course. And I mean, also for our Pistons, Ebuka Okorie, Ugonna, and then Drake Allen and Roddy Gale. But I think the one team I am kind of surprised to see, or how they ended up with these 2 guys in the draft, is the Spurs. Like, they got Terrence Reed Jr. out of UConn, and they also got Jaden Quaytons. Like, they went on a mission to get Wemby help in the front court. Man, do they deliver. So I'm extremely excited to see them kind of just play off Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle in Summer League. And Terrence Reed too, like, unbelievable rim protector, rebounder. Like, he had multiple 20-plus rebounding games. Jane Quayton's kind of have some medical issues with like what he had at Arizona State. Like that was kind of a factor of kind of how he slipped down to the Spurs ultimately, but he has such a high ceiling. Like if he does work out and the medicals are good, like people should kind of, how like you're gonna look back in like 5 years and be like, how the hell did we let the Spurs get this guy? Like like he's kind of the one of those names to watch out for. And then one of the biggest surprises too is that I think Nate Ament too. Like I figured he would kind of go higher than expected, but I haven't really been as high on him as some people. I think him going to the Bucks is kind of just another pick of where they kind of waste a top 14 pick on a long guard that, is kind of skinny, can kind of shoot the rock a little bit, but kind of has really interior scoring issues. So I don't know. I'm kind of off on him. So I'm excited to see him and how he plays at Summer League, and also Braden Burries with the Bucks. Like I think he was an awesome pick for them. He was one of my favorite guys in this draft class, along with Cam Carr. He would have been awesome with the Pistons for sure. And I think with Morez Johnson Jr. obviously going in the top 10, like super excited to see the Michigan boys again, and also playing against each other for the first time. Like I think that'll be a lot of fun to see them and how they operate. And I think Morez going to 9 for the Mavs, like guys, like Dusty's not that sly. Like he was gonna pick one of his boys. It was just kind of written the stars, and Mavs fans should be extremely happy. I was way higher than Morez Johnson, than Yaxel and Mara the whole season. Like, it makes sense for me for sure. So yeah, excited to see those teams, and I think just being there for opening weekend, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I think a lot of fans are just gonna come and just want to watch hoops and kind of get a good feel. Darren Peterson with Keontae George gonna be a ton of fun to watch. Like, yeah, the Western Conference is loaded, guys, with new cores, especially just having all these picks. I mean, the Thunder have like 20 some picks in the next 4 drafts. It like never ends. So yeah, so like the draft is more important now than ever as we enter this new era. So I think seeing these guys in their first kind of game for their team is really important. So yeah, definitely excited.
Should be great. And you could potentially catch a Chris Angel show when you get free time if you really want to see
a little mind freak action.
Yes. There we go.
Shout out Chris Angel.
Top priority after seeing Cam Boozer. See a little mind freak.
People in the chat are saying the Hornets had a nice draft. On the low,
yeah.
Every draft pick in the first round, I was like, "This is great." You did a great job, even with Nate Ament. I didn't mind them taking him because I know he's like a lot of potential with a lot of flaws that GM seem to like more than some scouts seem to like. But he's your second guy. You took Braden Burris first, who is awesome, rocks. And if Nate works out, great. The only concern I really have is that this current regime in Milwaukee hasn't been great about developing young talent so far. So that's like a little bit of a bummer, but fingers crossed for the kid. Fingers crossed for everybody in the draft. I want them all to do well. I hope everybody does well because that just makes a better product on the court. So let's, first of all, like and subscribe if you're here. If you're new here, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. We get great guests like Paige Otto on the Chateau Smoke Ponies. And we touched a little bit on this earlier when we were talking about Norm. I want to shift back to Detroit because Detroit has opened up this cap space and the potential to get a big name. If it were you, because this is the team that you stand for. This is your fan team. Who would you like them to get a move for at this moment?
I feel like I'm still kind of out on an island. Like I would be jumping for joy if we got Norman Powell, honestly. I think like age aside, like you can't deny production. And for him, he was an all-star his first time as a 33-year-old, guys. Like he has been consistent every single year, got more playing time, started to really find his shot. He's always been kind of a, bucket getter and has that, clutch gene of like, hey, I'm just going to get a bucket even when my team's just, not feeling it. Like he is kind of that constant for a team. And I think Detroit kind of needs that because I think, especially in the last 2 playoff series, you can really just takes the air out of the stadium. right? When we're just like having a bad game, like you can know it by the tip off. Like I was in game 7 against the Cavaliers, like
rough stuff.
Yeah, like the only
Did you look at your wallet and scream, "She's on fire"? Like it's NBA Jam.
Yeah. I was like, I already paid, might as well just sit this one through and put myself through hell because
try to block out all the Cavs fans that Dan Gilbert busted. Holy shit.
Yeah. And the only cheers or any excitement from that game was the first 4 points of the game of Dennis Jenkins. And then it was just sitting in silence the whole game of people just regretting their life choices and how they became a Pistons fan and how they ended up here. So that was absolutely brutal. But Norman Powell is the guy in those scenarios. Doesn't matter, the Pistons in that game or, I like to think about the Mavericks and Suns series, game 7 at home. They lost by 40 points, right? Like, Norman Powell is a guy that, like, say that might still happen. Like, you still might lose that game, but he's going to still, like, bring that oomph to your game. Kind of like how Stewie kind of did, right? Like, you're kind of like, okay, he's kind of like the limelight. He's the hype man or so because he just has that stability factor to his game. And, like, he never goes away, really. And he's been consistent year after year. I think because we do have the cap space now and he doesn't really want to discount from the Miami Heat, who he would be taking a discount if they were to get him. But, they already got Giannis and they let a lot go for him. So I think it kind of depends what we want to do. I think Karis LeVert would 100% be gone in that deal. I think Ron Holland as well. And then maybe a first round pick for Norman Powell. I'm not sure. We could just do a first rounder and Karis LeVert or a second rounder, but I think one of those two options kind of has to be involved there to get Norman Powell. But look at I would say like low 30s for him if we're going to do like a sign and trade because he is an unrestricted free agent. But I think we'll probably know in like the next 2 days of kind of like what's going down with the Pistons. Like it seems like there's like eeriness in the air. Like everyone's like, oh my God, like this could happen. That's kind of how I feel. Like the Melo trade today, right? For the Wolves. Like it's kind of like, okay, like Melo was kind of starting to figure it out and, lead Hornets to the playoffs. And, he got Conconnipple with him. So, so I think they sold extremely high in LaMelo Ball. Timberwolves got everything they needed and more from this deal. I think the Hornets I don't know. I'm not a Hornets fan, so it'd be interesting if you have anyone in the chat that is and how they feel about this deal. But I think
we would never allow that.
Can I be real? I like the deal better for the Hornets than I do for the Timberwolves because I think LaMelo's like a great player. Like he's got a lot going on. He can do so much. He shoots like the seams off the basketball. I know people say leather. I was trying to think of something else. He shoots the jet evolution off the basketball. How about that? And he just doesn't play a lot of games. He gets injured a lot. And I think his decision making, both on the court and off the court, is questionable. And I just feel like they believe in their young guys in Charlotte with Brandon Miller, who they're probably going to have to pay, and Conconnipple. And now they don't have to pay as much for a guy like Kobe White, who also shoots the ball a lot, who also can pass the ball pretty well. It's just like a discount on that, who's also like a local guy and who's also not driving his car into other cars on the street. And you're getting draft picks out of it. And you got Naz Reid out of it. So like now you have an opportunity to potentially move off Miles Bridges, which I think would be kind of great for the organization. Hopefully that Michigan guy doesn't come back here to this part of town. But like when I think about Minnesota, now they're smaller and now they have this one point guard who's kind of making questionable decisions on the court. I don't know if it pushes them far enough in the East, and it kind of feels like they don't have any more picks. They don't have more picks. They don't have swaps. They're really counting on this working out. They just signed Io, who I love, and if I was Io, I'd be like a little bit mad. I'd be like, okay, so my role's not what I thought. I mean, he got paid, but like, I just don't know. Do you think this makes them a championship team? Because to me, if the answer is no, then I don't know if it's a great play.
I think the Timberwolves are kind of doing whatever they can to make up for trading Cat, honestly. Because I think you look at Cat and like you're like, okay, we put him in the best situation possible. He won a championship, and I think he did have to go at that time, but I think Ant needs, other firepower because like I've never been really a fan of Rudy Gobert, if I'm being completely honest.
Good for you.
With you guys. Like I just haven't. I think he just doesn't have that X factor that I love in bigs. I think he's a big crybaby first and foremost. He just, he can't really do anything else but, play in the pick and roll and play finish. And he doesn't really do that to the extent. And, obviously his defense, but I think, I don't know, like I'm not a big fan of him. Like, I don't think he moves the team forward for how great he is as a defensive player. I think with the Timberwolves, like LaMelo Ball has had so many questions in the last few years. And I think with, yes, on paper and obviously with your eyes, this is going to be, if not the most dynamic backcourt in the NBA, as you're watching them play together with Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball. But Melo, he does have, as you mentioned, Harry, off the court drama, right? He kind of likes to, I don't think he's ready to play for a contending team. Like, I don't really know if he really understands, what that takes. Also, the ball's not going to be in his hands as much as it was in Charlotte, right? Like that's Ant's town. Like Minnesota is Ant State, right? And I don't know how quickly LaMelo is going to react to that or adapt to that. But I think, they're starting five, obviously, LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards. You got Ayo Dosunmu, Jaden McDaniels, and Rudy Gobert. You're still in the Western Conference, though. Like, you have to go through the Oklahoma City Thunder, San Antonio Spurs. The Lakers are revving up, too, especially, re-signing Austin Reeves. And,
Utah Jazz, dare we say?
Exactly. Yeah, like, I think the Utah Jazz, especially with, my guy, Jaren Jackson from MSU, like, major trade they made for him. Ace Bailey, Bryce Sensabaugh, which I think he showed some of his scoring prowess, but he was an absolute bucket at Ohio State. Like, they also have him coming off the bench, Keontae George, obviously electric backcourt player. And look at the Baylor guards, right? Like, Scott Drew really knows how to develop these guards, especially with VJ Edgecombe too for the 76ers. Like, and I mean,
Jacoby's pretty good. The people in Toronto love Jacoby.
Yeah.
Like, they've been putting him out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Seeing what the Jazz look like now that they're actually trying. It'll be a new look for them. Just to take it back to Norm Powell real quick, I think you make a really good point, just how he's such a bucket. And, I feel like our guy for that, especially in the playoffs, was Tobias. Yeah. And he saved our ass many a time with that 20-point 8-game streak. The process by which Tobias gets his bucket, which is awesome, but that back down, it slows everything down. Norm is a 3-level guy. Like, he has a really quick release. He can drive. He can keep defenses on their toes. I just think it just makes us so much more dynamic than, like, with respect, Unk Ball. So I'm excited for that look, but I want to ask what you think. Norm at the 2, what are you thinking at the 4? Do you think Tobias could start next season? Do you want someone else there? What do you think Trajan's going to do? I know we can't get inside his head, but
yeah, no, that's a great question. I think in the upcoming days, I think we're all going to have a lot more like settled answered of like, okay, like I can kind of, be a visionary in some sense, be like, okay, I can see the starting 5 working out. And I think as of right now, it's obviously, I think Cade, Asar, Tobias, Duncan, and then obviously Jalen Duren. But I also think Paul Reed should get some games starting too this year. Like, I love Paul Reed. Like, I am like probably his like number 1 fan. I don't
at the
care. I like when they played. They kind of tried different lineups here and there in the playoffs with Paul Reed and Jalen Duren, him and Beef Stew. Like, I thought they worked really well together, and I love like a good like 2-man big man game of like high-low type of action. And I think Paul Reed with his passing chops, like he makes it a lot more, to work with because he can help space the floor for the shooters. He's not clogging up the paint as much as, Jalen Duren kind of is, but Jalen Duren also is a okay playmaker too. But I mean, how Duren, performed in the playoffs, like I think a lot of Pistons fans obviously have a sour taste in their mouth about him and us giving him, the max deal. Right. But yeah, I think it's just going to come down to like, even with Duncan too, like he wasn't on his game as well. Like there's a lot of inconsistencies. And I think us, trading for Norman Powell, him, Cade, Asar, like if you have those guys at your 1, 2, and 3, like, come on, like it's going to be a good battle for any team to kind of go through those guys, and just especially if a star kind of works on his shot more. Like I know all of us kind of say that, like, oh my God, if this guy could just like shoot even like a sense, like it's enough when, he gets the ball in the corner, he's wide open, everyone's like, oh my God, like, like no player wants to feel like that. So maybe he gets those oohs and ahs a little bit down and just be like, okay, like he's just like starting to, floor space a little bit more. So it's not like a shock to the system when, he's open down there. Like, so yeah, I think Tobias, I think if we were to go for Trey Murphy, we would definitely have to let go of Tobias Harris, just because of, we paid him a pretty penny too. And I think Trey Murphy will be, a little bit more expensive than Norman Powell. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how we go.
You also said something interesting, that you thought that there's a chance that Ron would be a part of that deal. And we've talked about this on the pod and we're totally speculating, but I just don't see Trajan trading Ron right now.
Yeah. So when the 2024 NBA draft, when Holland went 5, I was pretty shocked just for what the Pistons needed at that time, because I was a huge fan of Dalton Connect in that draft class. 6'8", right? Like 230, like lights out, confident shooter. Played D2 ball, kind of worked his way up and played for Tennessee ultimately. And he can also play off the line too. And I was like, he just seems like a seamless fit for the Pistons at 5. But we went to Ron Holland, which, RIP the G League Ignite. But he
the G League extinguished, I think. Yeah.
like the shot, like with a star too, like they're such high level athletes. Like a star is probably in like the 99.9 percentile of athletes. Like Ron is not that far behind. And with Ron too, like he is such a great weak side rotational defender too, right? Like he's always in the right rotations. He has quick hands. His instincts are next level. But I don't think he's untouchable, right? Like I think if he was, we would have already said that, because he's only he's going in his 3rd year, as an NBA player. Like he's still in a sense kind of like a mid-tier rookie in a sense. But I think he's not a piece that we're not going to part ways with, because if you really want Trey Murphy, I think we're going to make it happen. Same with letting go of Isaiah Stewart. So. Yeah, I think it depends, but I wouldn't be shocked. I think it would be bittersweet, but I wouldn't feel how I felt about like us letting go of Isaiah Stewart.
Yeah, to be clear, I do and I would. Just because he was Trajan's first draft pick. Like he's talked about how he's still young and developing. But I mean, I agree with you, and I hope you're right, because I'm excited about Ron, but it does feel like he's not just, and we've talked about this a little bit, just the shot falling away.
Yeah.
There are other things, like the dribbling, the passing, just some of the decision making. And then on the other hand, he's so fun to watch. He's such a Piston. He plays really hard.
Great facial expressions, like S-tier facial expressions.
Funny as hell.
Draws fouls like incredibly. Every time I hear his voice, it like rumbles my heart because it's so deep. He's just fun to have around. In the chat, a name that's getting thrown around because of the Merez Johnson pick. How would you feel if the Pistons made a move for PJ Washington, a Mickey favorite, I might add?
Really, I could see it. I think PJ, he also allows us to space the floor a little bit more. He also adds us size and strength on the perimeter as well. And I think people are kind of forgetting about him on the Dallas Mavericks a little bit. Like PJ has the goods. Like I love PJ Washington, especially with what he did at Charlotte too. Like, and him and, depending on what happens with Kyrie Irving, like I personally think that's all smoke coming from the Kyrie side of things. Like I don't think he's going to be a Piston by any stretch of the word. Like I just don't see him wanting to come here.
We got Ebuka. We don't need his ass.
Exactly. In his 15th season too. Like, and I love Kyrie, like, especially I think inspired a lot of people of like, hey, there's other ways to like dribble a basketball that are cool and crafty. And like, I think he really, same as Steph Curry of, how to shoot a basketball, right? Like we're in this era of like, okay, if you're not shooting, 43s a game, like how are you going to win a basketball game type of sense? Like Steph kind of really put that into fruition with his game coming out of Davidson. But yeah, anyway, I think with the Mavs, they got Merez Johnson, they have Derek Lively, Cooper Flagg, Kyrie Irving. And I think with PJ, he's going to be like, okay, well, I can start kind of somewhere else. Like, I know this is kind of starting to be Cooper's team in a way. And Klay Thompson is also down there as well. So I think PJ, yeah, you kind of forget, right? With him and all the Meg Thee Stallion drama, like that kind of, I'm sure Mavericks fans are like, thank God that's over. But yeah, PJ I think would fit great because, you know, with him being on the perimeter, he can also operate as a cutter and slasher too. Like he's a strong built dude. And I think him also playing a lot off ball, like he'll get into these situations of like, hey, like he can be such a key scoring threat off ball for us that we don't really have in the way. Like obviously Duncan is 3-pointer, can kind of get to the rim, but he's not like a guy that you're like, okay, he's a 3-level scorer that I really trust. Like PJ, he will bully his way to the rim. Like he can disrupt mismatches. Like he's a mismatch king in the mid range. Like Duncan, like teams target him every single time on defense, right? So PJ's not a guy that you're going to target just because of the gravity that he has, right? So, but I'm curious, Nikki, why are you such a big PJ fan?
I think it's because he's kind of a Pistons killer.
Yeah.
I feel like he used to give it to us, and especially now that Stu's not on the team because they used to butt heads.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's the 3-ball isn't amazing on paper, but he did have that amazing playoffs with the Mavs when they knocked out OKC.
35% over 22 games.
But yeah, I see players who give the Pistons a hard time, and I'm like, God, it would be so much better if he was on our team. Also, he's on a decent deal through 2029. I think he's making, let's see.
It's like 64 the rest of the way?
Yeah, 19, 21, 22, 24. You know, it's like pretty much what we were. And I don't see him getting targeted like Tobias did in that Cleveland series, you know, where James Harden was just cooking him in mismatches. And that
was like a scene in Uncle
As you
Drew.
know, it was hard to watch. It was tough watch. But I just think I want guys who can dribble, pass, shoot, defend, and I think he's one of those. And just feels more like a starting four for. He's not like my guy. I've got to have PJ Washington, but it's a tough position. You know, like we've talked a lot about like the John Collinses. A lot of people, probably a lot of the chat, are very low on Rui Hachimura, even though he is wet. Everybody is afraid of his defense. So PJ seems like a guy who's toolsy and can kind of do everything. I think Harry's sort of come around to the PJ. He used to hate PJ Washington for all the reasons I just mentioned.
Well, he was a Charlotte motherfucker, and now he can be a Detroit motherfucker. I'm all about the action. I'm fine with that here now.
He feels like a Piston a little bit.
Yeah.
He feels like he's got that grit.
I think him starting here, especially on that contract, he's making 19 mil starting at the 4, and you've got him locked up for several years. That's a pretty friggin' good deal to have along the way.
Yeah. And one guy that we will not get, this team will probably not let go of him ever, but Jalen Johnson. I absolutely love him. Like he's also a Pistons killer. Like will just give us a double every single night. Can't miss. Like most improved player as well. Like I think him, Keontae George, I kind of put them both in the same category of like, if you're not in on them now, like, what are you doing? Like, in sense of like sports cards too, like this is the time to invest in those guys. Like, 'cause I really think like with how the Hawks drafted as well, like I think that team is going to be, you know, and they also just re-signed CJ McCollum. And they also gave the Knicks a kind of run for their money to start in the playoffs. But yeah, I think they're going to be a super fun team to watch. But Jalen Johnson, like if that could ever happen, I don't think it will ever, but like he just embodies like what you kind of want at that 4 spot for us.
Yeah, that would be sick. I don't think Atlanta's let him go anytime soon.
Do you think they'd take Karras for him? Like that'd be a Reddit trade. Karras for
go in a few seconds.
Well, maybe we can get a third team involved. We have space. All right, we've talked plenty about players. I think we've really milked the stone, as it were. We've really gotten down all the way through this team, and I'm happy we were able to get the brain drain going out of here, because now we want to get to a fun segment, and we have such an active chat. Good luck helping out in this one. Don't you dare help out too much in this one because we got a little game all set up. This is actually a Mickey creation. So, Mickey, why don't you go ahead and give me the skis on this game?
Well, in honor of the draft, we're going to play a little memory game built around Pistons draft picks. So we're going to try and, you and I, Paige, we're going to try and match Pistons draft picks. Okay. Harry has created an unbelievable board for us. And the goal is, there are a couple spread throughout here. There are some busts. And you don't want to get the bust. If you get the busts, you lose your points. You lose your points. You're back to 0.
All the way back to 0. Okay. I love it.
All the way back to 0 or -1. It's fluid. It's fluid. We can, what do you think? -1 or back?
I think -1 because you go all the way back to the 0 and we're like almost
on a
whammy. It's like, it's over.
That's what happens when you miss out on a pick. All right.
We'll do no, you know what? Actually, you've changed my mind. This is like the Ebuka Okorie pick. I flipped
it's a high
so
stakes
quick.
Game.
I'm so in now.
It's a high stakes game. We're going to keep track of our own scores because God knows Harry's doing the Lord's work over here.
No, I can handle the score. I can handle the score thing. I think I got it. I'll just do one number over here, call that over there, and then I'll have one number down here. Okay, let me put a minus just so I know the separation is there. So no whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Killian Hayes, this person, Richard DM for it, really gets this game.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Paige, we've kept you for over 90 minutes.
Yeah,
I'm kick us off. Thank you for hanging with us.
Who says I'm sad about it? The chat is just maybe they want to go, or I don't know. Maybe they have plans on a summer night.
Yeah,
I'm ready for this.
I guarantee you, because of the average age of our chat, their plans is to go to bed in about 20 minutes. Because they're all up there with me. Maybe that's not true for the chat, but I don't know. Anyway, so we've got a few we got a few busts up here, a whole bunch of matches in there. So Paige, think of it like a bingo board. Direct me however you want to. How many over, or A, B, C, D, E, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 down is what we're doing.
Okay. Let's do B2.
Okay, B2. I gotta make sure I can do this right. Is my card gonna work? Is this thing gonna work? Come on now, son. I worked so hard on these graphics.
Do not embarrass me.
There we go. Boom. Okay. B2. Okay. It's a star.
There.
Nice.
All right.
What's your first team all defense action?
What's your second pick?
Let's go. Wait, does Mickey go? Or
no, you
pick 2, and then if you get it, stays up,
and then they flip back. Yeah.
All right, let's do C5.
All right, C5. We'll get to this. Ooh, Ebuka Okorie. Look at fly on draft night. But I'm sorry, that's not him right there. Okay, cool. Mickey, to you.
I thought C5 would be different. Never mind. It's all good. It's all good. You're doing great.
Oh, did I do the wrong one? No, I did the right one. Oh, I did do the wrong one. I'm sorry. You did call C5. I gave you E3. That is super my bad.
It's okay.
I can't let her think you're rigging this.
Yeah, I blew it.
That was a mulligan. Why don't you go again, Paige? Why don't you go? That was just us testing it out. You pick again.
Let's do C5 again.
Okay.
Let's keep the good vibes going.
The real C5.
The real C5. All right. Come on, C5. Hold on. I want to make sure.
3 across, 5 down.
C5. Come on now. Okay. I got it. My B. Oh, that's E. Oh, it's because I have the wrong thing. Fuck, man. I'm so sorry.
Don't be. You're doing everything.
All good.
It's a complicated game for me.
It's very complicated.
C5, C4.
People don't know how much work this goes into making these graphics.
Okay.
It's a lot harder than
Harry does all of our
Grant Hill.
Grant Hill. Yeah, there's the pick. So my bad on that. He's gone. Okay. Mickey, now it's to you. My bad.
Okay. Let's go D2.
All right. D2. Maybe this will work if I do this properly.
4 across, 2 down.
Oh, now I see what I did wrong. My bad. Totally get it now. Boom. Z.
IT. All right.
IT. Okay.
Cool. Then let's go A5.
A5. All right, I got this. Ooh, it is Tayshaun.
Prince. Okay.
You remember that jump shot form? Look at that Tayshaun jump shot form. It's so funk.
Yeah, but freak athlete. All right.
He gets away with it. He gets away with a funky shot.
He does. All right. You're back up, Paige. We are going to be here
all right.
That's more my fault than anything for the technology.
Let's do A5.
All right, A5. Wasn't that just Tayshaun?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we got Tayshaun.
Okay. C4.
C4. It's an explosion. C4.
I hope not. I hope it's
boom. It's Jalen Duren.
Okay.
Dog.
Nice.
Right, Mickey, to you.
B2.
B2. Making me crawl over the place here. Oh, sorry. Another one that's already been picked.
We already did that. We already did that one. We'll do. Did we?
You're like A5.
Can we do D1? D1 Division 1.
D1. Andre Drummond.
All right.
Okay. We're getting the board. We're getting sense.
The board is opening up here. The board is opening up.
Okay. Let's do A3. I don't think that's been picked yet.
A3. I love it. Ooh, it's Cade Cunningham.
Okay.
Lovely.
Let's do. I'm like starting to forget.
That's the game. That's the game.
Yes, I know. Yeah. A. Okay, so A3. Let's do B1.
B1. Ooh, JD, the other JD.
Shit.
Okay.
I gotta remember where JD.
Where was that?
All right, I'll go B1. Get that Jalen Duren, and then what was it?
You better not be taking notes. This is a brain game.
I'm not. I'm definitely not gonna get it right here. Was it? Was it?
Wait, can I help or not?
No.
Okay.
No. We're competing.
All right.
Was it
Listen,
E5?
we need sweet boys and nasty girls. That's what we're going with.
E5?
Did you say D5?
I said E5.
E5.
I don't think that's right.
No, but it's a SAR.
It's a SAR. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
All
right, Paige.
All right. So B2.
B2.
And then E5.
There it is. She's on the board.
Yes, sir.
All right.
And
I
then,
think if you get one, you gotta keep going.
You get to go again. You get to go again for sure.
And then I think Duren's at B1 and C4.
All right, so B1, C4.
Because he's explosive.
B1, boom. Oh, that's right. I shouldn't. I should
running the table. She's running the table.
Look at that. That's 2.
Let's go.
Okay.
Okay, so Okorie was E5. Okay, so E5 is Okorie, I'm pretty sure. Or E3? Yeah.
What are you calling?
Yeah, E3, sorry.
Okay. Boom.
Yeah.
Nice memory.
Let's do E4 and see if it's just right underneath it.
God damn!
Oh! Let's go!
He's just crushing it right now.
He's on a run.
All right.
No whammy.
Okay, so Cade. Okay, C3 was Cade.
Is that where you want to go?
Yeah, let's go there.
C3.
Or A3.
Sorry.
Okay,
C3.
That's fine.
C3 is Ron. C3 is Ron.
So C3 Ron. Let's go D2.
Mighty Ducks. D2. Boom. It's Z.
Oh, okay.
What was that?
C.
Okay, Mickey.
Okay, let's go C3, Ron Holland.
Great.
And let's go
Oh my God. Is the Zeke one still playing?
A1. A1.
A1.
From day one?
Grant Hill.
Oh, okay. My turn?
Yes, it is.
A1 and then C5.
C5. I think that's right. This memory is crazy, Paige.
Let's go.
Go green.
Go
Go white.
Go white. Okay, so
Mickey, you're getting wiped
Spartans.
here. This
I'm getting whooped by my own game, too.
This is Paige's Game 7 revenge.
Yeah.
The smoke ponies know my memory.
I deserve it. I deserve it after watching that disaster pass. Okay, so Ron Holland is C3, right in the middle. And we're going to go with D4. I don't think we've done that one.
I think that's a strong guess.
D4. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
D4 is
you
a
got
big
Stanley.
bad
You
loss.
got
It's Stanley Johnson.
Darn.
All right.
Do they both go back now? I think they both go because I'm not above accidentally picking Stanley Johnson again.
Sure.
All right.
So we're back to a tie game here, even though the board's been cleared out. I'm actually happy about the going cleared out now because you were running away with this.
I know. I had to give some. I had to give some momentum to Mickey.
So no,
right?
yeah,
I had to slip
I'm,
up.
I'm sure I'm gonna capitalize on it too. Let's go E2.
E2. Come on, Harry. Use your brain. Oh, Mickey, I'm sorry. The biggest bust of them all. It's Darko Milicic.
I got Milicic. No victory cigar for me.
When Milicic was drafted, I lost my fucking mind. I was so high on Carmelo Anthony from high school. I was like, this is the guy. His name is so close to my favorite candy. I gotta have Carmelo on the team. And now I still love Carmelo. I love how thick his fucking New York accent is. Like, whenever he talks about New York, he's the most New York motherfucker I've ever heard talk in my life, and I love it. He's the type of New Yorker who calls records.
All right, Paige.
He's awesome. All right. I think we can get IT here. D2. And then
God damn.
And then A2.
A2.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I know where that is.
But now we know where Ron is.
A2C3.
A2.
Nice.
C3. Oh,
Nice.
Mickey on the board. He's got one.
Nice.
So, let's go A5.
A5. Once again, the third time. Tayshaun.
I do remember saying D1 earlier. Let's see if it's D1.
Okay, let me go find that. No, it's
Big Drum. Big Drum. Okay.
All right. I'm gonna stay with Tayshaun at A5 and then B3.
B3. No, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
It's I have to be honest. That's actually not Cade Cunningham. That's his alter ego, Braid Cunningham. It's a different player.
If you get Braid and Cade, that does not count.
Does not count. They are two different identities. One's evil. One is not.
Yes.
Harry, C2.
Okay, C2. Boom.
Shit. Was it A3?
A3. No, that's Cade.
No, it's not. All right, take it, Paige.
Okay, so A3 and B3.
3 and B3. Do I already have B3 up there?
You have B3 already up, so you just need A3. It's fine.
No, wait, I don't have B3 up.
Or you do have.
I have C2.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I'm messing you.
Hold on, C2. Okay, so Paige, just one more time. What were those picks?
A3 and B3.
All right, A3 and B3. A3, Cade. B3, Braid. I'm sorry, those are two different individuals. Cade and Braid.
Oh, it was you're actually being serious.
Yeah, I'm being dead serious. I told you.
Okay.
One's wearing black, one's wearing blue. It's not the same man.
I'm so cooked. All right. Let's go A4.
A4, not to be confused with A24, the AI company.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, here we go. And then C3.
Wait, C3 is Ron.
Oh, sorry, B3. I meant B3. I'm
B3. There he is, bad boy Artie. Braid Cunningham.
I don't deserve that, but I will take it. I got Braid, not Cade.
Yeah.
Could you put Ron away, Harry?
No, Ron's he's done.
Oh, did we already?
Yeah,
we already got.
been
That's
had.
right.
Ron's been
That's right. All right, let's go. B5.
B5. Ooh, it's Joe D.
Joe D.
I don't know if you'd recognize him without two phones attached to his ears.
Oh, you mean the New Orleans team?
Ian wants to know who's got better stats, Braid or Cade. I think it might be Cade, but I'm not sure.
Let's go D5.
D5. Boom, it's Andre.
Drum. Okay.
2 D men.
Okay, so C1.
C1.
And then B5.
B5. Paige back on the board, getting Joe D out there. Love it.
And I think D1 and then D5.
Okay, D1. Come on, Harry, don't mess this up.
Think.
Andre Drummond. What was the second one you said?
D5.
D5. Oh,
Yes.
snap. We got a tie game. So
No,
few
we
pieces
don't.
left.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do. It's 2-2. She went down. She went down to 0.
Okay.
Then you got up to 2.
Yeah.
That's wild. Okay.
See, this is why you have a keeping score here.
It's so well. Clearly, my short-term memory is.
Okay. We have a SAR. Who else did we see? Okay, so C3 is Cade. Actual Cade.
C3 is
or A3. Sorry.
A3.
We keep messing that one up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. I messed it up the first time. So
Listen, this is really hard.
Yeah.
This is really very difficult.
This is why you don't use Chat GPT. It ruins your cognition, folks.
Or Claude.
Or
Whatever one you want.
We need Ebuka's Stanford education to help us out here. This is only Ivy League stuff here.
Okay, so A3 and then shoot.
As you're thinking, back in my youthful days, I used to buy, I used to have the East Bay catalog come my way all the time, and I'd buy college basketball shorts like crazy. And my most coveted pair didn't come from East Bay. It came because I went to visit Stanford. I got a pair of Stanford Cardinal basketball shorts, and I rocked those all the fucking time. This is before the Lopez brothers were there. These are old ass shorts. I'm an old ass man.
Do you still have them?
No, and even if I did, there's no way they'd fit. The only remaining pair I have are Georgetown Hoya ones. Oh, and that's not true. I have some North Carolina because UNC was my team growing up. I wanted to go to UNC so bad. Went to Michigan State, tried out for Michigan State's team. Didn't go great. Here we are.
Wait, I want to change my pick.
Yes, you haven't even made one yet. I don't think.
A5.
Okay, A5 is the first pick here.
Yes.
A5.
Tayshaun.
Yep, and then E1. I think that's Tayshaun again.
E1. I want to make sure this is right on here because I think I have it listed as wrong. I hope this is right.
Thank you, Maddie. Appreciate you.
E1. Let me get it up. Oh, E1 is Cade.
Let's go.
I just gave a layup to Mickey.
E1. Well, that's the hardest shot sometimes. Just the wide open layup. Let's go A3, E1.
A3. Oh, good memory. And then E1.
Thank you. It only took 5 tries.
Hey!
Let's go.
Okay. I hope this isn't Stanley again, but let's go D3.
D3.
Mighty Ducks.
Oh my God. D3.
Okay. A5.
A5.
We're making a comeback.
Oh, snap. 4-2. 4-2.
Okay.
I believe we have one match left on the board.
C2.
C2.
Don't do it. Don't do it to me. Oh.
Zeke.
And then B4.
I'm sorry, Mickey, but B4 is the biggest bomb there's ever been.
Nobody wants to see that.
Oh my God. Killian Hayes takes down another winner.
Oh,
that's brutal, dude. That was fucking brutal, my God.
French knife in the back. That's tough. That's tough.
I can't believe he came out right then.
Oof.
All right, Paige, all you have to do is get this one and not hit any of the other bombs. There are more bombs than there are pairs.
A lot of pressure. B3.
B3.
And then D2.
Wait, B3 was braid. My bad.
Yeah, or C2, sorry.
Okay, C2. It's all good. And then what was your...
D2.
D2. Yeah. And she did it!
Let's go.
Huge congrats. Big ups. Give claps in the chat for Paige. Started out super strong, gave up the lead, then came back and won it, which is what we were hoping the Pistons were going to do against the Cavs. So she got to relive the nightmare and right the wrong.
You avenged. I
avenged. Yes.
Wow. Thank you. This was a marathon pod. Paige. Thank you so
much for
hanging with us. This was an absolute blast. Harry, you're a legend for this unbelievable
I guess so.
gamesmanship. No, you are. Everybody knows how hard you work.
You are
unbelievable. Thank you all for hanging with us. This was an absolute blast. Paige, tell us where everyone can find your stuff. I got to say, too, we were talking off pod, Harry and I, before you came on. The No Ceilings, the draft guide, and the merch is fucking sick. It is. Look, I don't know who designs your stuff, but it is all so awesome.
We have to hook you guys up.
No.
We have to support. We got to throw money. You guys do such hard work. The stuff is not outrageously priced. It's worth the buy. Have to be sent that way. You get hook us up with like a fist bump if you see us at Summer League. If we end up coming through at some point.
Of course.
So give us some shout out. Where should we find your stuff? What should we be looking for? What socials are your thing, and what are you proud of? What's going on?
Yeah, so my socials are Paige Otto _ on TikTok, Instagram, you name it. And then No Ceilings NBA _ on all platforms as well. And then on No Ceilings, I was on the Deep Dive, co-host of the Deep Dives podcast all year round with my host Nick Johnson. He's our editor-in-chief. Felt really bad for him for the draft guide that was like 150, so many words, 300 pages. Like Nick's to go.
I thought you were going to feel bad for him because he's a Sacramento Kings fan, right?
Well, I also do, but he got A-Cuff.
There you go.
A-Cuff and you mean Darius A. Buffs at the draft night, just rocking the Reddies? My
Detroit
Lord.
native too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I'm a low-key Kings fan myself, so that's my.
You guys are part-time fans of other teams.
Yeah, I love basketball.
Okay, I am too a little bit.
Who's your West Coast team?
Phoenix Suns.
I see. Okay. Killer.
I love Dylan Brooks.
Yeah.
Dylan the villain.
Yeah. So corny, so killer, just incredible. Anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt, but more. Give us more plug.
Yeah, we also just launched our mock simulator. Albert Gim did a fantastic job of building that out, kind of released a couple days after our draft guide. So you can do team big boards, your personal big boards. The draft simulator takes from our personal big board. So if you wanted to just draft off my big board, you could have just like a composite, which is kind of a fun knick-knack that we added. And then you can do full first round, second round. Mock simulator also gives you the cap space, the roster, kind of everything you need to know in one spot. And also our website work on there too, which is pretty fun as well. So, and it's super easy to like stream or, do content with, which, we're also lots of fans with. I'm sure you guys are too, wherever you can make content with, all the new stuff out there. It's a good opportunity too. And then with building No Ceilings on the side, also work full-time for Snapback Sports as head of marketing. So also do that, a lot of like college sports stuff, college football, And right now one of our talent is going to a game every day of the World Cup. So really busy with that. So yeah, that's a journey in itself, but yeah, super kind of just in the weeds of kind of the draft and then with work too, but super excited to talk hoops with you guys tonight.
Thanks so much for coming on the show. Hope to have you back. If you're down to come back on the show,
of course.
It'd be great to have you. So wonderful time. Great. Congratulations again on the win. Huge stuff.
Yes.
And, fingers crossed that the Pistons do us well.
Yes.
And I hope everybody out there is, done licking the wounds from the beef stew loss. All the best to him moving on. May this team do well, and may Hooper lead us to victory. And we're going to end the show the way we do literally every time, which is by saying the acronym for Order of the Blazing Horse, OOBH, aloud, because that's how a horse would talk anyway. So, as always, I've been Harry.
I'm Mickey.